Hello and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Sean.
And so we put up a video of us unboxing some comics, and I realized that I have the worst voice for this. Why do people let me podcast?
What's wrong with your voice?
I'm a shouty baritone.
It's a baritone.
Baritone. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jen.
Yeah, you don't have a Vin Diesel. You're not Vin Diesel or that dude from.
I'm Vin Diesel.
The dude from
Jen Diesel.
Jen Diesel, or that dude from.
Now an action star.
Boys for Men. Boys for Men. Jesus Christ.
You mean Boys to Men?
Boys to Men.
Is he the one that left the group?
He's the one that's not in the group anymore because he got He got MS, I think.
Oh,
or he had something.
That's too bad.
Something bad happened to him. But yeah, he was the bass guy.
Oh.
He'd be the guy in
They'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, he'd be like that. I feel like it's too like he's one of those guys you didn't know he was in the group, like he was a part of the group until like he just be like that part where it's like it slows down. He's like, "Girl, I love you."
Yeah.
But all the other guys are singing, and I am not the Boys to Men man expert, whatever. But it sucks.
I don't know. Motown Philly's still a jam.
Oh, they got jams, but yeah, he's not in the group anymore. So, it's a shame. But you do not sound like him.
Oh, well, that's good.
I can assure you that.
I'm just like, who the fuck lets me talk on a recorded format?
I do.
When I sound like I just, it's like whatever the opposite of helium is.
Lead?
Sure, yeah. I've inhaled lead, and this is what I sound like. Oh, Lord.
Yeah. But, we had our video yesterday that we put up. I guess that's kind of why this show is going up a little bit later than we would have wanted it to. But, we got these books because the books just came in that day. Yes,
just got them yesterday.
And even though we have a lot of books, we were like, well, we're going to do these books.
Yeah.
Do a live unboxing. And now we're stuck with these books.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to hear about it.
Yep.
As long as we're quarantined.
Yes.
Maybe after we're quarantined, maybe I'll just say fuck it and I'll throw them out.
Burn them in a fire.
Burn them in a fire. Much like the quarantine.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll just give them away.
Sure.
I'll do the smart thing, and just give them to Second and Charles. If we ever go back there again,
we may never go back. At this point in the quarantine, in the now times, not the before times.
No, the before times you can go places.
Yeah, no.
And hopefully everybody is dealing with this quarantine as well as they can.
You know what I saw today?
Yeah, what?
That they're saying one of the habits that we should break forever, that we should never do again, is we should stop shaking hands because it spreads all sorts of things.
I'm down with fist bumps.
Yeah, me too. I can do like an elbow bump.
I don't want to do an elbow bump because I feel like if I do.
You still touch hand, but like when you can hit the elbow.
I'll do forearm. I can't do elbow.
That's what I mean, like forearm bump.
Yeah, because I worry that if I do an elbow bump, I'll get hit. Somebody's gonna hit my funny bone or get somebody else's funny bone or that area that gives you the
like forearm bump.
Yeah, Bash Brothers.
Yeah, like a Bash Brothers thing.
I will do fist bumps though too.
Still touching hands, especially if you're wearing hit the forearm if you're wearing a shirt.
Well, you know what I could do is I could start wearing like fingerless gloves, and that'll help protect me on my fist bumps.
Yeah, sure.
I could start doing that as a part of the regular thing. It's like everybody's wearing fingerless gloves now.
We'll get fancy gloves.
Yeah, I can get like a whole kind of a wardrobe.
Yeah.
Of gloves and be like, Sean, why are you wearing these gloves? It's like I'm only doing fist bumps now because of coronas.
All right.
So this is it. And
apparently it's good because if we all stop shaking hands, that's one of the things that's helped spread all sorts of colds, and not just coronavirus, just all sorts of common colds. And
or just acknowledge
flu.
the person and be like,
hey, man.
Hello. Gesture. Yeah. Hello.
Hi. Remember how everybody used to like rag on Howie Mandel because he wouldn't shake hands?
You know
what? He was fucking right.
Howie Mandel was right.
He was right. Now forearms forever.
Howie Mandel's just sitting there. It's like, I told y'all.
Told y'all shouldn't be shaking fucking hands. Y'all made fun of me.
You know, it was in one of these cases, Corona, because y'all was shaking hands.
Howie Mandel was
deal
right.
or no deal.
Yep.
The deal is you get sick and die.
The deal is we don't shake hands.
no shake and no deal or whatever. Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Don't touch people.
Don't touch people. Try to stay away from other people. We're trying our best to do that.
Look at this little shaved little girl.
Or our cat.
She has half of her body shaved right now. It's really sad.
Well, she doesn't have any shame.
It's so cute though. She's a little patch. We had to take her to the emergency vet hospital because she was not feeling well, which that's a weird thing to do during the middle of a fucking pandemic.
Yeah, because nobody wants to actually like get close to you.
Well, you can't you have to call them from the car and then they come get your pet. And then all the consultation is over the phone because you can't go in. So, but she has had stomach problems. They had to give her an ultrasound. So they shaved her belly, but they shaved halfway up her side. And it's really sad. She has a very interesting haircut. Poor thing.
Again, stay safe.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
No.
Support your local businesses.
Yeah, if you can.
If you can. Support your, if you like a certain artist or independent artist or, and that could be a musician, illustrator, anybody, pro wrestlers, if they got Patreons, podcasts or whatever, if they got Patreons or, Kickstarters or GoFundMe's or whatever, throw them a few bucks if you can. That's really what we could do. That's the best because, a lot of people aren't really able to make the money and make their, make their bills like they originally how they would plan. It's just throwing a big monkey wrench into a lot of people's day to day. I know it's thrown off a lot of people in terms of podcast listening too, just as somebody who works in the business, and it's pretty wild. So we're but still support those people and support if you can support their advertisers if you listen to a podcast because that's how they make money. A lot of times, especially for some of these shows that you're just like, oh yeah, they're probably fine. It's like, no, they could use it, especially for the people that also work to produce those shows. As somebody who has been in that space before, it's very much a situation where there's a reason why you get that show every week. Yeah. It's because somebody else is doing it or being creative behind it or just making sure that it exists because if there's some, if it's a, soup to nuts operation, how some shows are, then sure. But not, sometimes a lot of these shows need help. So, if you're supporting the show, you're supporting the people behind the show too. You're not just it's not just like giving, an Earwolf show, you're not giving Scott Aukerman a bunch of money. Yeah, he's fine. Directly. I mean, he'll be fine, I think. Yeah,
don't worry about Scott Aukerman.
For the most part. But everybody else that works at Earwolf can use your help. Yeah. Or at least, show them that you're paying attention to these shows. And that's really, I guess what I want to say. I mean, it's because normally we would talk about we got this, we got that, we went there. We haven't done any of that. No. We watched WrestleMania.
We did.
That was a very, I'm not going to really talk much about it because there's a lot of other places out there that are much more they do this for a living. Of course, yeah. Or it just makes more sense to pay attention to them. But as a lifelong wrestling fan, watching WrestleMania with no fans in attendance, it's weird. It was very surreal. The matches themselves, everybody worked hard. I could imagine the difficulty it's been working in front of those non-crowds for the past month, right? Almost a month at this point. So hopefully there will be, maybe we're going to adapt in this weird world with pro wrestling.
Well, I hope they do more. We saw some neat stuff. Yeah. We had the Boneyard match. Which I loved. I mean, former goth here. You throw anybody in a goddamn cemetery and throw in some fire. I'm here.
Cemetery friends.
Yeah, and some druids and coffins. And I'm like, yeah, this is the best match I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's pretty much right up your alley.
Yeah, it was campy as shit and I loved it. So I kind of want more of that where it's just it's not in a regular ring. It's just filmed somewhere else. Yeah. So I thought that was cool. And then the next night had the Firefly Funhouse match, which was just some weird shit.
It was basically an art project.
It really was.
Dressed up as a match.
Yeah. That's exactly what
but
it was.
It really wasn't a match. It was,
and I was just like, this is fucking weird. I love this. Let's get more weird.
Yeah.
So
I'm down with being weird.
I'm so down with it.
But that being said, we shouldn't waste any time.
Nope.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with the book for this week.
Monthly. It's Action Film Face Off.
Hello, I'm Jason the Weasel Skull Ulbrich, and I'd like to tell you about a podcast I do with my brother, Jared Ulbrich, the yard sale artist.
Action Film Face Off.
Yes, thank you, Jared. Action Film Face Off is a podcast where my brother and I, who are both military combat vets.
Jason was a Navy SEAL.
Jason was not a Navy SEAL. Jason was a military intelligence weenie. But anyway, in each episode of Action Film Face Off, we select 2 different action films.
Some of them have Chuck Norris.
Technically speaking, none of them have had Chuck Norris yet, but it could happen because we use a randomizer set between 1970 and modern day to select our 2 films. So you'll always get 2 films, each from a different year.
Our randomizer has spikes on it.
We use a Google random number generator, so it does not have spikes on it. And we put the films into our Video Dome arena.
It also has spikes.
It does not have spikes, but we discuss the films and score them through 6 different rounds of criteria.
I score Bond films very high.
Okay, that's true. But anyway, by the end of the episode, we crown one of the action films the champion of Action Film Face-Off.
Next episode, Jason fights a bear.
Jason is not fighting a bear, but please give our show a listen. We're part of the Longbox Crusade network of shows.
Pat Sampson killed a man with a sword once.
I can neither confirm nor deny that statement, but you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, and most podcatchers under Longbox Crusade, or you can subscribe to just our show by searching for Action Film Face-Off.
Come see the blood fly.
And that's Action Film Face-Off. We do, indeed, invite you to come and see the blood fly.
I just said that.
All right, we're back here in our worst collection ever with our book for this week. We are doing Powerline number 4 from November 1988. What is Powerline? Powerline is from Epic Comics.
Uh-huh.
And it is a part of the Shadowline saga of books.
Sure.
That were released through Epic Comics back in the late 80s. For what it's worth, neither of us know what the hell's going on in this book.
Nope. Because it is not, again, it is from the grab bag. So this is the 4th issue of this book. No fucking clue what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, but from what I was able to glean after doing some research, thankfully the marvel.fandom.com or the Marvel Wiki.
Now, was Epic Comic purchased by Marvel?
Epic
or was
Comics,
this a line that they, like a separate imprint that they had?
Epic Comics, basically, as far as I would understand, was kind of like more of, I guess I wanted it to make it more, I wanted to compare it more to like Vertigo.
Okay.
But it's really more like, I would say, like Image or Valiant, where there's a lot of creator property. Like it's like basically is kind of like a more, I guess you would say, more of mature material, or stuff that they feel that Marvel wanted to publish.
Right, but they couldn't do it under their traditional imprint.
But they can't do it under just traditional Marvel. And this being the 80s, they didn't have, all these different ways to publish things, or whatever, you know. But they did actually. I take that back, because they had Star Comics, which was for kids, and you had Epic Comics, which was, stuff like Akira, the man, you know what Akira is.
Yes.
There's a few other books, like Alien Legion was one. Dreadstar, I think, was one.
But this is a Marvel imprint. It is not something they purchased.
It's a Marvel imprint. Yeah, it was something that I feel like they created. I'd have to go deeper into it, but I feel like it's something that they created for the purposes of being able to put out stuff like
Sure.
this.
That doesn't fit. Okay.
It doesn't necessarily fit
Makes sense.
within the Marvel stuff. And it's not like new universe stuff or whatever where, it's still Marvel, but they're trying to like just kind of make it like a separate timeline in there. Like this is something that typically isn't going to cross over. At least to my knowledge, it doesn't. There are some exceptions, which I will mention.
Sure.
But there was also they also published Gru the Wanderer.
Okay.
Which was like kind of like Sergio Aragones, I think that's how you say his name. He used to be the illustrator in Mad Magazine.
Oh, okay.
Like he used to be like an illustrator there, or he was, or he maybe. Well, he was. Mad Magazine's not around anymore,
Right?
Thanks, Corona.
Wait, is that coronavirus's fault?
I'm blaming everything on Corona now.
All right.
Let's just blame it. Let's just do
Mad Magazine folded in 1992. God damn you, Corona! Future coronavirus.
Mad Magazine, I think, just like ended.
Oh, I don't know. I was just giving it a date.
No, actually,
I was making a joke.
Yes, humor joke.
Yes, a humor joke. Yes.
No, but Mad Magazine, I believe, actually did stop publication like last year. I think it was
Corona.
Yeah, because of the Ronas. But no, they but he drew their underwear, and that was like his book, but that was on Epic.
Okay.
So you're able to get stuff that you again normally wouldn't have access to. And I mean, it was probably something where I don't know if this was actually like sold in like newsstands, or you'd have to go to a specialty shop, obviously, to get it.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Okay. So what have you learned about this book?
Okay. So this particular book and this particular situation takes place on Earth 88194.
Sure.
Where on this Earth, there's no Blockbuster videos. There's no
Pizza Huts,
Easter bunnies. There's no licorice
of
any kind.
Oh. So is this like the movie Yesterday?
Yes.
Where just certain weird things don't exist?
This is what happens if...
everything else is the same, but there's no cigarettes in this world.
This is what happens if Ricky Nelson didn't exist.
Oh, I see. So there's just no licorice.
So that's what happened. There's licorice, and you got these these kids with these weird hair on the cover here.
They're wearing cool visors, like very like basically what those like Macho Man would wear those sunglasses that have like
he's like Bret Hart sunglasses.
Yeah, like Bret Hart. They're all like connected.
Yeah.
Like they don't have a break in where the nose should be. It's just like this big piece of glass or plastic, and it's very 80s.
So basically what the deal is in this universe is there's
kids. They wear visors.
that is established. Yes. It's on a book here.
Kids visors. Basically there's a race of humans that are known as the shadows or shadows. And they have like powers. They're kind of like basically, I keep saying basically. I notice that's something I say a lot. I say basically a lot. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Okay.
They're pretty much mutants.
Right.
But
they're not called mutants.
They're not called mutants. They're called shadows.
Right.
And they're as a race, as a faction of humanity, they were out of public view until recently, which is kind of where this whole business starts. You have these Powerline kids who are parents of shadows or they're shadows, but their parents were shadows, and they kind of, in this book, they're kind of like, I guess you would say, like the boys.
Yeah,
they become like they're like a commodity of some sort.
Yeah, so let's just get into the book here. So
I also want to point out, because it's just for my sanity, because it's on the tip of my tongue. So you have like this book, you have like Dr. Zero, who gets mentioned in here, and then you also have St. George, or the Order of St. George, who they're all doing some sort of business with they're either shadows or there's some sort of associated with shadows. And the Order of St. George somehow is related, and I have the book, but I've never gotten around to reading it. They are associated with Terror Inc.
Okay.
And Terror Inc. obviously made his way into the Marvel 616
right proper,
but he started out in this thing that nobody fucking remembers.
Yeah.
So
Or cares about.
It's kind of like a character that really nobody cares about except me.
Yeah.
Started out in something that even less people care about.
Yeah.
That's
And
really,
not even you care about
not
this.
even I cared about.
Yeah.
The reason I cared about is because he was in there.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I read this first and I cared about Tarek after that. It's like, no, I had to go backwards.
Yeah.
So that's how that happens. So anyways, yeah, Powerline, a Shadowline saga on the cover here. We've got the aforementioned kids with, I know their names.
They work together. They're like a team. I don't know what exact. They have a force field that they create when they're together, but I guess
they
we'll
have
talk
power.
about it.
So basically, God damn it, I said basically again. Names.
Because they don't have names.
No, they have names.
They're so pointless they have no names.
Well, the thing is, on the Marvel Wiki, when you go to Powerline, it's just like, this team has no history. But then if you go to the other comics, they actually have like some
Because
information.
no one cares enough about Powerline to put any information in this wiki.
Well, so the one of these kids looks like
His name's Boy.
No, his name is Victor Guillermos.
All right.
Victor Guillermos. Boy.
Yeah.
Who kind of looks like Joe Piscopo.
He kind of does. I can see that. Yeah.
Piscopo. And then we have Lenore Castle.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah, she's got some shaggy hair.
She has like mom hair. From the 80s.
Well, everybody in the 80s had mom hair. Let's be honest.
That's true. I can't.
There is the only people who didn't have
Joanna Kern's hair.
Yeah, the only people who didn't have mom hair in the 80s were the people who were rocking those huge ass bangs.
True.
Everybody else had mom hair.
She has Chris Jericho hair circa 2004, 2005.
She has Ric Flair hair.
That is a Ric Flair do. Joe Piscopo and Ric Flair team up in Powerline, a Shadowline saga coming soon to Marvel Universe.
No, nothing.
This is what they're gonna have to make after we get out of this Rona. They're gonna be like, we've
made everything else.
Movies. We got to start from the bottom, the very, very bottom.
I was going to say the very bottom. All right, so that's the cover, and they're just kind of like.
Well,
it's like a weird.
It's an ad for milk. But there's like these monstars on it.
Like ripping it apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like an ad that's on a building, like in New York where they like just put it on a building that you walk by.
So yeah, the way that I mentioned that they're like a commodity because we get like a teen magazine cover.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like you mentioned the boys. It's kind of like not the titular group of boys, but the other
that's right.
group of superheroes.
God, what was their name? The something seven.
Yeah, the something seven, the Super Seven, or I don't remember their name, but wherever Homelander's on, the team Homelander's on, where it's literally like they have an 8, except it's much scuzzier. That's like a sleek corporate operation. This is like a dude in a back room who like smokes too many cigars. I guess he's Victor's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Victor?
Victor?
Vincent?
So actually you're way off on the V names. This is Long Green Gary Grant.
This is their agent. He is totally scuzzy. It's like in this crappy back room, and he has a phone that looks like money.
That's right, he does. That's kind of neat.
His phone has money printed on it, and so he's just basically like getting these kids gigs. Well, and he's sending them to like, do dumb shit, like being a wrestling.
They're in malls, and
they go to like be in a wrestling tournament. They're in malls. They show up at birthday parties and stuff like that.
And so, actually, you pointed out earlier before when you were reading this, you said Captain Lou was mentioned here, and actually, as I realize here, so this 2 of the Powerline, the Victor and their uncle Ripley.
Okay,
that's the guy who's later.
Oh,
with the mustache.
Okay, I get you. For some reason, I thought the agent was the uncle. It is very confusing.
It's very confusing, especially reading this in the 4th book. And it's one of those things where I feel bad because I'm like, I know I could do reading comprehension.
Yeah, but this is one of those jump books, and they're very short jumps.
What happened was Lenore and Victor got kicked out of or somehow ran away from the shadow.
But they're not related.
They're not related, no.
Okay.
But they were living in a
shadow town.
There was a shadow sanctuary or something, and they escaped it. And Victor ended up hanging out with his cousin or his uncle Ripley, who was a professional wrestler.
Oh,
and they were doing a gimmick or something. And I assume that since there's a wrestling connection, Green Grant Money Man calls Captain Lou Albano.
Yeah, that's what I thought here, because it has like a wrestling ring and big dudes, and refers to him as Captain Lou.
Yeah, Captain Lou
trying to get them on the show.
Yeah, in 1988, Captain Lou wasn't doing much for anything with the WWE, to be honest. He was actually running on a communist ticket to become like I think he was trying to run for president. He was like running for the People's Party or something.
Okay,
that's what I remember, because it was in like a Pro Wrestling Illustrated where it was like Captain Lou may not be in WWE anymore, but here he is talking to some fans about politics, but he's still dressed like Captain Lou, because you know what Captain Lou looks like.
Yeah.
You know, so. Yeah, it was actually around this time though. Captain Lou was being Mario.
Oh, that's right.
He was doing the Mario.
That's right, on that fucking TV show. I
always got freaked out at the end of the credits on that show, because it was basically just like a green screen and Captain Lou doing his things. Like you do the Mario and you just move, you just go, you just move your arms side to side, and then at the end, he's like just like that, but he's just standing there like splayed out in the screen, and it just kind of lingers on him, and it always freaks me out, because it looks like he's very uncomfortable doing it, but but it's also making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that's the memory I always have of that show, not of the actual Mario cartoon.
Yeah, so he's just like getting these kids gigs, doing the gigs.
Yeah, they're doing gigs, and so here's the deal with regards to the powers.
Yeah, what are their powers?
So Humberto has the power of creating a force field.
You mean Vincent?
Oh, Victor. Sorry.
Victor.
I'm
like, who the fuck is Humberto?
Who's Humberto?
Fuck, there's another guy here that I wasn't aware of. I thought there were only two kids.
Victor has
the power. A third.
Victor has the power.
Oh shit, can he split himself into two people? One is Humberto and the other is Victor?
Yep.
Shit.
That's what happens when he does the force field and they split off, and it's even less interesting somehow. Victor could do force fields. I always want to call her Wendy, but Lenore.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be able to do anything.
She can jump. That's her deal.
But only when his force field is there.
But there's things that they realize because they ran into each other, that their powers somehow complement each other, where she can like
harness his force field to fly.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they have some sort of deal where they do. And the other dude, Ripley, who we don't really see much of in this thing, he can turn his hands into metal. You can turn his skin into metal.
Okay.
So he's like Colossus, but like he sucks.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Yeah. So anyways,
the Colossus
if you're still with
sucks.
us in this episode, I
God love you.
God love you, because we are struggling through this.
Yeah. So basically they get this whole thing together, and then they have to go to like some party.
They go to a party where basically but a lot of this book is just them being like, I don't know if I want to notice, and then they get noticed.
Right. Because at first they're like, oh, I'm not going to wear my visor, because apparently people can only, it's like Clark Kent. You only know when he's wearing glasses.
But if he wore Bret Hart glasses, if Bret Hart came out the ring and gave him the glasses, you'd be like, holy shit, that's Superman.
Yeah.
Or holy shit, that's Clark Kent.
That's Clark Kent.
I saw Superman, now I don't, because Bret Hart went up to Superman and gave him his
glasses. They go to this party and he's wearing his visor, and he's like, you should put your visor on. And she's like, oh no, I'm wearing a nice dress or whatever. And I'm not sure if I want to be recognized, but she kind of like seems to have some feelings for him.
Yeah.
So she's like, well,
they're in it together.
I don't like feelings. She's like, well, I don't want to disappoint him, and I want him to still, I want to still be connected to him, so I'm going to wear my visor too. And then we cut to like a conference room.
So this is where...
Oh no, then we go back to the agent.
Well, the agent's just like, he's trying to do like deals, and then he gets another call, and somebody calls him with probably a really good deal, because he's like, they're booked. And he's like, oh wait, oh.
Right. He's like, what was your name?
Yeah. So I think this is the last we see of him in here.
Okay. I thought he was the guy who died. Anyway,
if this is a movie, he could be played by Danny DeVito.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's get Danny DeVito some work playing the Powerline movie.
Yeah. And then we're in a conference room, and like people are watching a projector, and they're like talking about killing some dude.
Yeah. They're trying to there's some scientists that
always got to kill those scientists.
Yeah. They got
every fucking comic book or movie. Everybody's trying to kill a goddamn scientist.
You got to try to kill these scientists. And then there's these guys who are, they're like demons in disguise, as we come to find out.
Oh yeah. Cause they like just sort of murder everybody in this room. But
no, they don't murder. What he does is he's like,
they fart.
No, they don't fart.
Because there's a lot of shh, or is that his fingernails?
No, yeah,
and not wind.
He does a knife.
Oh, I thought he was.
What he
I thought
does
it was
basically
wind.
is like hey man, you know these are people we need to kill, and the guy's like, great, you know what to do, and the guy's and he's like, oh yeah, money. And
Yeah.
he's like, all right, let me show you how I do it, and you know he kind of turns his hand into a demony claw. And he slashes up, very rudely slashes up the projection screen
Right.
in this boardroom.
See, here's what I thought happened here is some sort of gas came in and turned him into an old man, or the guy from Thinner.
Thinner.
Yeah, that's what I thought happened.
Oh,
I didn't. I thought it was some sort of terrible gas.
Oh no, there's no gas. nobody broke wind in this Marvel epic
It's
comic.
like my power's farting,
I'm in
and
the
it turns you old.
Yeah, I'm one of those shadows, but I just fart.
What a shitty, horrible power.
I just fart and make people old.
Could you imagine that
if you catch my wind, you get old fast. Man, that sucks.
That's terrible. That's the worst power.
The guy's just like, everybody's like, hey man, let's go get Mexican, man. Just really good Mexican place. Like, I
can't, bro.
Can't do it, man. You're all gonna become elderly if I do it. Just like, no, man, just let's go. And he's like, oh, I'm telling you, I cannot enjoy Del Taco with you.
Yep, can't do it.
Which is a crime because Del Taco is delicious.
It is delicious.
We go back with this girl, Lenore, and looks like she's packing up her house.
Yeah, they go to this house and they're like going to pack up and move to somewhere else. So she's going to get like a picture down from the high shelf and he has to like help her. And I guess I'm assuming it's her parents.
Well, also too, because
she
power is she's able to jump, but she can't jump that high.
Yeah,
She's only kind of like I could jump that high.
Oh, I couldn't.
I probably could if I was in my best physical shape.
You know, you've seen me jump.
Yes.
I barely clear an edge. I have no jumping ability whatsoever.
Probably, if I was, I could do somewhat because she's not really even jumping that high. She's just kind of jumping.
She's jumping higher than me.
She's like for a superhero jump.
I have a very strong relationship with gravity.
Yeah, so she's trying to get this picture, and the Victor's like, oh well, let's
force field.
Let's do our gimmick together, and you can get your thing.
And so she gets the picture, and she's just like, oh, they're gone. And then he's just like, oh, this. And then this is one of those books where it's like, as they're walking out of the house, she goes, this is from when, like, she's telling him when the picture was taken, but they don't tell us. And the next thing you see is she's just crying. I mean, maybe it happened so we don't have to be retold, but this is the first time I've picked up this book. I don't understand who these people are, or why the fuck she's crying.
So now we get together with this.
Oh, we go to the scientist man.
The scientist that is going to get farted on. And I believe he is with Ripley.
Okay, so that's who I thought the agent was.
Yeah.
And I got very confused.
So Ripley.
Because they both have they kind of look alike.
Ripley, they do a thing where he's like trying to like get money out.
Well, so what did the scientist is like? I created this thing, and it literally just looks like three green cylinders that like project a car.
What he did was he created a hologram projector of some sort.
But it looks like,
but it's just projecting a car.
It's just projecting a car. But you know what it looks like? It looks like Superman, like the old Richard Donner Superman when he goes
with his little tubes.
Yeah, all the crystals in the the Fortress of Solitude, except they're green.
Yeah,
that's literally what they look like.
Yeah, but no, this looks like a machine that's got a lot of wires into it. I mean, look at all those wires.
Oh my god,
where are you plugging this into?
He's plugging into everything. Because it literally goes out 360 degrees.
There's 360 degrees of fat wires.
Of just plugs.
I'm like, there's not enough plugs in this dingy apartment.
There's not enough power.
There's not enough power.
You'd fucking blow that building.
Power in the entire city block.
Right?
And
you know what? It's not even making like a big car. It's just like floating above these cylinders. It's just like a car. It's like a toy car.
Yeah, it's just like yeah, we made a Matchbox.
But he's like,
holograph.
oh, people
hologram, whatever.
Yeah, and he's like, people are trying to kill me because of this. I'm like, are they though?
I was like, why? Because it sucks.
Yeah, they're so fucking
Hey
mad.
man, you promised to make like Tupac and shit.
Because
and now you just made this stupid car. We're gonna get some demons after you.
Are they trying to kill you because you blew their fucking power and they're mad?
Every
Like
time you turn this thing on, you blow
all of our fuses.
It knocks out like power for like the entire state for some reason. You have like 3 million gigawatts of power going into this. But yeah, so they're in this digi apartment, the Powerline team protecting this guy.
Right. And then he looks out the window and he's like, yeah, see, there's like shadows in an alleyway. I think those people are trying to kill me. And he's like, or Powerline's like, we'll go figure it out. Don't worry, we're famous, so we'll be fine.
Yeah. Lenore's like, don't worry, Ripley. No one's going to do anything to us. We're stars. Because nobody attacks celebrities.
Oh, no.
Nobody's ever attacked a celebrity.
Nobody
ever.
stalks a celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they like go out to talk, and they like, it's the weirdest thing because it's like 2 pages of him just being like, hey, random guys in an alley, what are you doing here? Like they have like a conversation with these people. And then I guess these people, like the guy in the alleyway is like, well, I'm going to show you. And he has like red eyes. So he's like a monster.
Well, there's actually, I'm just noticing this here. So you got this one dude that there's 2 dudes here.
Uh-huh.
And these 2 dudes are also like, they're the demons. But I just noticed here. So if you look at this one panel, this dude's turning he's got kind of green.
Oh, I see that.
And then you get to this other panel, and he's basically in the same position, but he's just got like a lizard head, and nobody notices that. He's just like, I'm a lizard.
No one noticed my lizard head.
But meanwhile, these 2 guys are distracting the Powerline because they're also shadows. Like because one of the guys goes, hey, we're practically family.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we're all related, but we're just like these monsters, and you could just jump and you make a force field.
Yeah. So this is basically like the Morlocks versus the regular X-Men.
Yeah. That a good analogy.
Yeah.
Much more interesting analogy. But they're using this as a distraction, so one of their other dudes can, I guess, blow up a car in the basement.
I didn't understand that because I was like, where is this car? But apparently it's like in the basement of the building, because honestly, it looks like it's just parked like next to the weird hologram machine with all the fucking wires, which I'm assuming, which is on like the 5th floor. So I was like, where the fuck is this?
The car that was made and then it got exploded by the demon?
It's the hologram, and it just blew up.
Oh.
So the demon gets in it and it explodes with a Filthume. Yeah. And so it explodes. And then this is like when all those guys start turning into monsters.
Yeah, one's a snake, another's a werewolf.
Yeah, the werewolf one's really funny when he pops up too, because he looks like not even a werewolf.
He's like a bear.
Yeah, he looks like a bear.
He looks like a bear, but also a cute dog.
Yeah, he kind of just looks like a guy wearing a bear. It's like Midsummer. It's a guy in a bear suit.
Midsummer.
Remember the guy in the bear suit in Midsummer?
Oh, that's right. For some reason, I was also
thinking... Except that guy couldn't move. This guy can.
I was also thinking about the Wicker Man and what's his face? Nick Cage as the bear punching Lisa Pesky.
How did it get burned?
Yeah. This is actually, it's canon. This is actually a pre-Midsummer.
Yeah.
And eventually.
Or Wicker Man, pick one.
Yeah, I'm gonna tie this in with a more interesting movie. Yeah, so there's a snake and there's a werewolf, and Victor's using his force field.
Yeah, so she can jump or something. They don't really do a whole hell of a lot.
Well, they're getting, so back in the building, Ripley and the doctor are there and
fighting monsters.
The werewolf is like, fuck this, I'm going up there.
Yeah,
and he's like making quips and stuff about barbecues. This is actually pretty impressive. These 2 jabroni kids grab the werewolf by his hair on his shoulders and then like do a judo throw.
Yeah.
In this next panel, somehow they get up here. Because the force field in the flame.
Yeah,
so
whatever.
I take it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the snake shows up. The building's falling apart, so they end up going down to the basement. To get out of the building.
Right.
Now we've got another. Is this the same one? No, it's the same snake.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah, because it eventually grabs the uncle, who I thought was the agent.
No, it grabs the doctor.
Well, it grabs the doctor, but doesn't it grab the other guy too?
No, the uncle, Ripley, grabs the snake.
Oh, and he puts his fucking fist through it.
And he has
But the scientist dude eats it, right? Somebody eats it.
He's about to get eaten.
No, but somebody fucking dies, right? Because that's why the Powerline's like all upset at the end.
No, actually.
Unless his uncle's the snake.
No, his uncle is not the snake.
This makes no sense.
The uncle turns his hand into metal and guts the snake. And
then why is this kid crying?
And then what happens is they save the doctor, and I think he's upset because the uncle was like, he basically murders.
Yeah, but that snake was going to kill them.
I know, but maybe he didn't realize he was a dude, one of the guys.
I thought it was because his uncle died. Like he's literally weeping at the end of this book. And I'm like, why is he crying? I went back like twice to figure out what the fuck this kid's crying about, and I cannot figure it out. He just says, "Oh, my uncle," and she's holding him, and
I don't know if he realizes that he is.
But if it runs in families, why wouldn't his uncle be a shadow? So what is he crying about? Who the fuck dies? Does the uncle die?
No, the uncle's still alive. He's right here.
Then what is he crying about?
He very much wins, as evidenced by him shoving his hand through this.
It's really great, but why is this kid crying?
I don't. You know what? I really don't understand why. It's hard to glean because it kind of just happens.
Let me see.
I feel like you would have to read the other books of this, like read more about the relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really get it. It doesn't make much sense, at least in that moment, why he is upset. But I feel like it has something to do with his uncle showing a significant amount of rage.
Yeah.
Against a demon that was trying to kill them. Yeah.
So they get out. And he's like, Vic, she says, Vic, you, and he goes, the shows, the publicity, it's all my uncle, and then the agent shows up and he's like, oh, I heard about it. And he's like, let's see if we can get us some TV coverage. And she puts the phone down. And
he has the money phone in his car.
His car.
He has money phones everywhere.
She goes out and she's like hugging this guy, the boy. She says, shh, don't worry, it'll be okay. And he goes, no, it won't.
Oh, what's on this next page?
And then we cut to another scene and we don't see them anymore. And I'm like, what is that? Why are you so upset? I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm baffled. I really don't understand why.
So I think what happens here is
this is something else. This is totally something different.
Where we go to a diner of some sort.
Dude's a trucker. There's a waitress.
And I think they're like a couple.
Yeah. And they're also like, they have powers.
They have powers, which we don't. Well, one of them, although the waitress wife has heat powers because she heats up his coffee,
and he can like
he's got like telekinetic because he's like, I want ketchup, and she's like, hang on, let me boil your coffee, and he's like, no, ketchup, and he's like, Jean Grey's that shit into his hand,
and she's like, well, we're gonna be together, and we can have 300 years or we can have 2 kids and only have 30. Sure. And he's like, well, don't worry about it, we're together.
I know, PD, so we have a baby and just maybe another, and then we'll just have 30 years instead of 300.
What does that mean? If we have kids, we die.
Oh, okay. Actually, you know what? Let me bring this up. If you're a shadow, if you want to fuck and bring another
wait, just fuck or reproduce?
Okay, let me say. If you want to procreate, shadows are immortal.
Okay.
But if you want to bring a offspring into the world, you have to give up your mortality, which is why she's talking like, well, yeah, could we just be around here for 300 or 30 years if we have a baby, if we decide to have children.
So what happens if you get accidentally pregnant?
Well, I think it's a decision, like a thing where I don't know. Maybe you have to go and like you sign a waiver and you're like, hey, I don't want to be immortal anymore. I want to have a child.
Yeah, because what if you're like, man, I was just supposed to be having fun fucking and the condom broke and now I'm accidentally pregnant. I didn't want to give up my immortality or ever have this baby, but now I'm immortal and now I'm just regular mortal.
I'm going to hazard a guess that the Shadowline Saga never addressed the issue of unwanted pregnancies.
Yeah, because it was written by dudes. You can't put something like that in there and not explain it.
Let's see if Gail Simone wants to take a pass at this.
Yeah, well, no, nobody does.
Nobody does. Nobody
so they're like, we're going to be together. And they're like, great. And he's like, well, I have to go like do my truck thing. But through the window, these things can see them. And they're like these weird, did you see the grotesque thems?
Yeah, there's like there's like these more of these monsters.
No.
Yeah.
They see them through the window, and the people don't look like what we've seen. She's all red.
Yeah, she's goop.
So is that what they really look like?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh. So anyway, he goes out to his truck, and there's all these little like demon monsters. One of them looks like the face sucker from Alien, and the other one of them's grabbing a crotch.
Oh yeah, we're chomping dicks.
Because some of them look like ticks, and other ones look like little guys.
Yeah.
Some of them are bugs.
There's not a consistency.
No, they're not just all little like demon gremlins. They're all like, some of them are bugs, and some of them are monsters, and some of them look like little guys. And then he like gets pulled underneath his truck, and I'm assuming eaten. Also, he looks like he has farted on.
Which where?
At the bottom where it says shh.
Oh, what here?
Yeah, he got old.
Yeah, oh yeah,
He got old farted.
He got old farted.
And then that's it.
Yeah. R.I.P. that guy.
And R.I.P. this book.
R.I.P. this book.
I assume this did not last that long.
Yeah, probably didn't last. I think it only lasted like a few more issues after this. But you could, if you really liked it, you could get some savings. Get yourself a subscription of 6 issues for only $9.
Oh shit!
Or I'm sorry, $6.75. Back in the 80s, that was like $200.
Right.
So that's it, though.
$200 in 1988 money.
$200 for 6 issues of Powerline, the comic where a dude gets farted on and becomes old.
That's way more exciting than anything that happened in this book.
It's true. Yeah. Well,
and I'm just going to save you the time. No, I would not read the next issue of this.
No, I'm not.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't even know this would even interest me if I just saw it, because I mean,
No.
because I can't even see either of us finding this in a bin.
No, I would write over this. I wouldn't even pick it up.
I'd be like, I don't even know. But
Yeah.
here's the thing.
I'd be like, garbage. Keep going.
It's tangentially related to Terror Inc., so I do have some sort of investment in this. However, I have yet to read the rest of my Shadowline adjacent books that tie into this saga and see how Terror Inc. ties into that.
Uh-huh.
And then I will make my final decision. But as it stands,
The decision better be no.
it is no.
Because I will make fun of you if you're like, I gotta find all the power lines. I'll be like, what
I'm
is
going to get a shirt. Excuse me, do you have any Powerline
I'm like,
shirts?
we can't be seen together if you're wearing a Powerline shirt. And I usually don't make decrees like that.
It's like, that guy went too deep. That guy's too hardcore.
He's lost.
Anyways, that's it for this week's show. Thank you for listening. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Angry Hero Sean.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram. You can find us on Facebook, Worst Collection Ever, and email the show, worstcollectionever@gmail.com.
And please rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you get the show. And tell your friends, and most of all, stay home.
Yep. Wear a
Wash
mask
your hands. Wear a mask.
when you go out.
Do elbow bashes.
Yeah, forearms.
Forearms.
And you can make a mask out of anything. You just put a bandana around your face. It doesn't have to be fancy.
Yeah, and just be safe.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yep.
All
Love.
you folks listening out there, we love you.
This deep voice loves you.
I love you.
I love you so much. Me, Jen Diesel, loves you.
All right, folks. Thanks again for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.